But my jobs, they were
That's
like,
the day you fired your boss.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, because 100%. I even realized that I was an entrepreneur since I was like I was looking back. I was an entrepreneur since I was probably 10, 9, because I used to sweep hair in a barbershop,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like my mom, obviously my dad wasn't in the picture. It was like my mom took me to the barbershop and said, hey,
Yeah.
give him a job. It was, all right, how can I make money?
Yeah.
I was looking around and the opportunity was to sweep the floor, right, to brush. And I'm 10.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe that entrepreneurship is something that's you're born with, like that mindset, or is something that you learn,
It's both. I think
or the mindset to create, right? Because entrepreneurship is, in my opinion, is being able to create something, solving a problem, which is creating.
that's what it is. I think everybody has a talent to offer a good and services. Do I think everybody's gonna be a gazillionaire? No, I do. I do think everybody has the ability to be free. They just don't fully understand how to turn it into a business, and that the difference with a business is that a business has to be profitable, and that element of it, people just like, well, I just like doing it and I like helping people, but if you want to call it a business, it has to make money. I mean, even a non-for-profit to some extent, how many people have you helped? How much money have you raised? So,
Nonprofits make.
Yeah, I know. I know. But I'm just, I say that some people always try to use that argument, but you have to figure out how to monetize it, and I think that's the part that a lot of people don't fully, that part can be learned. But everybody has a talent, you just got to figure out how to use it to make money. I mean, job is if you look at historically, job is a fairly new term. There wasn't jobs in caveman days. You did something and you bought it and you offered your service. So it wasn't called a job. It was a craft.
Yeah.
You were an entrepreneur essentially. So job is a fairly, if you look at from historical measures, I mean, it's a fairly new term.
Yeah, probably industrial revolution around that period of time where somebody figured out that I can get other people to do the work and I can make more money.
Yeah, by offering them security.
Yeah, or perceived security.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship in a business, in essence, is different then, right? Because there's some people who are entrepreneurs, self-employed, who, I mean, they may have an entity set up, LLC, escort, what have you, but are they a business?
It all boils down to leverage. Can your business function without you?
And for a lot of people who are self-employed, that answer would be no.
Yeah.
They just own their job, right? The whole cash flow quadrants, right? Employee and self-employed. The self-employed person, an entrepreneur, they just own their job. They are their boss. Until you create systems.
The only reason that it's like that is because of your mindset. If you're self-employed, the only reason you're self-employed is because you have a job mindset as an entrepreneur. It's the difference between a guy that owns one pizza shop and the owner of Domino's. So how do you leverage? How do you take yourself out of the equation and still grow? Like the real value in life is time. It's not money.
Yep.
And successful entrepreneurs learn how to effectively manage their time. Even more so than their money. So you got to learn how do I get out of the store and go spend my time finding other stores. And like the Founders movie is an excellent example of that. Like, I don't want to be flipping burgers. I want to spend my time opening up more McDonald's. So you're willing to take less per store, but have 7 stores that you don't have to work. So I always get this example between the self-employed and the entrepreneur. And I ask people this question, and they tell me your mindset right away. I say, would you rather work in a store yourself and make $100,000, or would you rather, and you got to spend 10 hours a day in there, or would you rather not have to spend any hours in it. Spend an hour a day in the store, or like 4 hours a week in the store, and make 20,000.
4 hours a week, 20,000, because you have your time back.
Yeah. So the reality is that, and if you add another store, it's still it's the same 4 hours, not additional.
Mm-hmm.
So most people I want to make the 100,000.
You're imprisoned to that 100,000 in that one location.
Yeah, and I understand the answer short term because I got to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal, if that's really a situation, the goal is to make the money stack and then switch to the other guy, which is why I said it's really just it's flicking the switch and going okay, or even saying, well, I'm gonna keep this $100,000 store, but now I'm gonna go do the second store like that, the third store like that, the fourth store like that, and by the time I get to the fifth store, I got the $100,000 back now. I can step back, and I can just do that ongoing. So again, it's just the switch in how you think.
Who's teaching this though, right? Because we're not learning this in school. This is not I've never been in a class in school that breaks the stuff down. Now maybe it was just my school, but I didn't learn that.
It's designed that way though. It's supposed to be that way. But I say supposed to. That's the way it was intended, not the way it should be. Don't confuse it.
Yeah.
But it's designed by capitalists to create workers, and the people teaching the content are workers.
That's the. I always appreciated in college adjunct teachers that actually were doing it.
Yeah.
Like practitioners, right? If you're teaching me business and you actually have a company, the passion that you put into that lecture is totally different than someone who, and nothing against professors and obviously everyone serves a purpose, but the passion was just different.
Yeah.
Right, because they were practitioners. They can share how and really explain what failure looks like, what success looks like versus it be theory.
That's a good point. Yeah, my daughter's in college and she has entrepreneurship as one of her majors.
Nice.
And I looked at it. I was just like, can entrepreneurship be taught
in college?
Yeah, and there's elements of it that can be taught, but I think the most of it is just trial and error. And I go back to the case study of MBA, that $20 million case study. It's just like, oh, we got $20 million, we're going to allocate this much here, this much here, this much here. Like, how do you got payroll that's due tomorrow. You have, $1,000 in the bank, and you got payroll of $3,000, and your rent's due the week after that. And you got account receivables that you're not getting until 30 days. What do you do? And no credit.
So I think in college, right?
Yeah.
If you have a major of entrepreneurship, this just came to me, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the college costs $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
And you're studying entrepreneurship. They should allow you to take 5 to 10,000 of that 20, and it doesn't go to the school. You actually have to deploy those resources and start a company. And within those 4 years, how you're evaluated is how your business does throughout those 4 years.
That'd be interesting.
Because now you're actually, and so as you're learning, like during these lectures with these professors, you're experiencing ups and downs, trying to figure out, to your point, hey, you have a net 60 or net 90 when it comes to your receivables. So you know the money is coming.
Yeah.
You have access to no capital. How do you make it through that period of time?
Yeah. And that, like, when you're an entrepreneur, like, you understand certain problems as you get older, and you see, I look back and I see other companies that make certain mistakes, and they don't necessarily fully understand their cost of capital or their cost of, like, you have these merchant account receivables that lend money on their receivables. I said you have to fully understand your interest rate and what you're giving up. Usually, all things being considered, unless you're making an investment or unless you can borrow the money cheap, is usually not a good idea to discount the or or take less of the money today
Mm.
unless you're making an investment, not pay bills, making an investment, then money later,
Mm.
because it's gonna put you in a whirlwind. To give an example, like there's somebody that's willing to give. I could pay. I could take the money. She'd give me 30% discount to pay upfront for the year.
Interesting.